Johnson, CEO of Esports Entertainment Group. Welcome on the Business Brief.
Morning, Brian. Ryan, thanks for having me.
Great to have you, Grant. Fascinated to talk esports with you today, where organized video gaming is watched and in some cases wagered on as a spectator event. Grant, your aim is to build the future of esports. How's that going? And what does the future of esports look like in the US and around the world?
Well, it's, a lot of people get confused. When they think of esports, they think it's some sort of a homogenous group. But just like sports, pole vault's a sport, NFL's a sport, but they're not the same. Esports is a lot like that. There's the big titles, CSGO, Dota, League of Legends. Those are the big team sports. And then there's obviously what the majority of people play, which are on your Xbox, your PlayStations, Madden, and games like that, Call of Duty. So what we're doing is we're focusing on both groups. We have what I refer to as a vertically integrated solution. We have online tournaments, we have online gambling, we have the LAN centers, Helix, where people can go. And just on this weekend, they're back up to 100% operation. We had over 200 people in each of our centers, gaming, watching gaming, enjoying, participating in it. And then, of course, GG Circuit, which is the underlying software that runs over 1,000 different centers around the US and all across Europe. So what we're doing is we're finding verticals where we can partner with established names and brands. And of course, in Denver, it's the Broncos. They're the biggest brand, obviously, in the state. We're proud to have them. They're our partner and partner with them for their tournaments. For the fans, because esports, just like sports, is entertainment, and we're in the entertainment business. So I see just continuing to roll that out across the United States and across Canada, and then of course around the world. Not that we're going to have global domination, but we certainly want to be one of the top players.
I hear you, Grant. Trust me, as a guy who's a father of four, and and certainly even when I was a kid, played some video games. I get it. I watch my sons now play the Fortnite and the Madden and the Halo and all the different games that are out there. And I know there's a lot of drive and competition in that space. So this is really, as I said before, fascinating to see what you're building and what you're doing. I want to dig a little deeper into the partnership piece you brought up, because you are partnering with some traditional sports organizations such as the Philadelphia Eagles, the LA Galaxy, the Baltimore Ravens, and as you mentioned, our very own Denver Broncos, to engage fans through esports tournaments. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, especially the partnership with the Broncos, where I understand even the Broncos players will be able to play fans?
Exactly. Well, during COVID, one thing that the teams and everybody recognized was there was a difficulty in engaging with the fans. They couldn't go to the stadiums. Teams suffered. Everybody had a hard time. But what we did recognize is that the players of the team are also gamers. And that makes a lot of sense if you think of it. When they're not on the field, they're in the gym, they're on their game boxes. And starting last fall, the team started to reach out to us. And the Broncos, obviously, were one of those teams that reached out. We started having a conversation. How can we use esports to connect closer with our fans, use it as an engagement tool and a recruiting tool for future generations of fans? Because clearly the fans love to play these games. So our first tournament with the Broncos is coming up in September 17th to the 19th. That's the big weekend. The number one prize is season tickets. So if you think about that, if you're a Madden player, you've got some skills in Madden, you want to be in that tournament because you got a chance to win season tickets to watch the Broncos. And yeah, some of the additional prizes are signed swag, t-shirts and helmets and things like that, but also a chance to play some of the players who you saw from the promotional video are big gamers themselves. And those are, as to which players, I understand there's a bit of a competition at the Broncos organization as to who's going to get the chance to be the players, because there's not just one or two players, there's like a dozen players who all want to be the players, get to play the fans. And I'm sure the fans all want to play the players. So you can imagine from our side, it's such a natural fit. And the fact that the Broncos organization have really embraced this and the players have embraced this, we're highly confident the fans are going to embrace it as well. It's exciting.
Absolutely. I've even read or heard some discussion about potentially an esports arena or center kind of coupled potentially with the Broncos or maybe elsewhere, which I thought was really interesting to learn about and presents maybe a new forum, if you will, for folks in the Colorado Rocky Mountain region to come together to engage in this growing sport as well. Any thoughts on that?
Well, absolutely. We have had those conversations with the organization. They were already looking into creating a venue before we started our conversation, so they'd already embraced that whole concept. When we started having some conversation, they recognized that the largest venue like that built with a pro team is with the Patriots, Craft Sports. And the largest Helix Center is attached right to the stadium. It's over 13,000 square feet. And so when I in my conversations with the Broncos organization, that well, theirs is going to have to be 13,100 at least to make it the biggest center. But yeah, we're excited about it. The fact that we actually have the expertise and the blueprint of what that could look like,
right.
Just makes that partnership even better.
All right, now with billions, literally billions of e-gamers around the world, it seems like this makes so much sense for mainstreaming like other spectator sports. Can you provide us your take on both the challenges and the opportunities for growth of this industry?
My personal feeling, and this is not necessarily shared by everybody, but my personal feeling is that the esports industry will eventually become the same size as the sports industry, which globally is $1 trillion industry. It's massive. Esports growth is year over year, double digit, triple digit. Clearly fans love it. The challenge is for companies like ours, how do you make a profit, with that? And like all industries, the way you make a profit is giving the fans, the customers, what they want. And what the customers want is they like to compete against each other. They like, obviously, the competition, they like winning, just like sports. And most esports players are also athletes, as evidenced by the Broncos players themselves. These are highly trained athletes who are high quality esports players. So the challenge, and a lot of companies miss this concept, how do you monetize that? Well, you can do the traditional way where you have your banner ads and take sponsorship on your stream. We have a diversified approach. Yes, we can do that on the tournaments. We will have sponsors, absolutely. That's one way, but the fans pay to participate in these tournaments. And because the prizes are so substantial, that the engagement is high. We have the LandDuel product, which is they're going to be able to compete against each other. We're launching that in August in Atlantic City, in fact, and it will be Madden, will be the first game we play. So we intend to roll that out, and that allows that competitive nature, which is inherent in all of us, I believe. And that's me playing you, Ryan. We're going to play Madden. We're going to put $5 on the table. Winner takes the pot. House takes a little bit of a vig. So we have that product. And for those who really want to be more engaged on kind of a handicapping basis, we have the BuyGG platform, which is an esports sports book. And when we launch in New Jersey in July, we believe in July, it's up to the regulators, of course, we will be the first licensed esports book in North America. So we have a diversified way to approach this market.
Well, I'm looking forward to joining you at an esports tournament, whether it's in September or beyond. Grant Johnson with Esports Entertainment Group, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Ryan.